Insult your fingers.
Yeah. Yep. Bring this one
Have
down.
you got anything on you shouldn't have?
I haven't got anything.
Right.
I'm so confused.
The only risk I was concerned about is if she went through with it and I got caught.
So the only thing you're concerned about is if she went through with it and you got caught. Not about whether she was dead or not.
I don't think about stuff in that moment. It's just stupid I say without thinking.
So we were aware that Cameron Finnigan joined the group 764 in the late stages of 2023, and then from a law enforcement perspective we became aware of him early 2024, which led to his arrest in March 2024. And at that time, that was because we were aware of his online footprint and some of the claims that he had made around firearms and having access to firearms, which meant that in terms of public safety, we had to intervene straight away. As he was in custody and we started to look through his digital devices, we then became aware of certain things on those devices. And as we've detailed before in the press briefing, that involved a PDF document that gave instructional material around how to carry out a vehicle attack, as well as a knife attack resulting in mass casualties, along with the fact that he was engaging with vulnerable victims online and was encouraging them to commit suicide, as well as also having access to child abuse material, which was since charged as Category A. And also he had filmed himself carrying out a number of criminal damage. For example, he had knifed a word onto a victim's car based in Horsham. He had also identified a tent that belonged to a homeless individual nearby where he lived, where there were also graffiti marks around that, and he had also talked about harming that individual. So for us, from a policing perspective, it meant that we had to intervene straight away in order to mitigate the threat that he posed. The 764, we know, are a global group. Their reach is global, so they're impacting on a number of international communities, predominantly based on online. They appear to have a mixed ideology, which means that they don't necessarily cross over into terrorism. It's more about the individual themselves. But certainly what they do is they look to blackmail, threaten vulnerable victims, encourage them to commit suicide and then post it online, and then they will claim it as the group for 764, and Cameron Finnigan was certainly one of those members. And when you look at the offences that he was charged with and pleaded guilty to, that certainly illustrates part of their methodology. He also had a number of items within his digital footprint that was kind of elements of racism and bits. So quite often the group is linked to extreme right wing as well. There are a number of factions. They are known to be very closely aligned to the Order of the Nine Angles, and also a Ukrainian/Russian group. But this is what is so complex about this group. Not only the fact that it's got the global footprint, the fact that they're targeting vulnerable individuals, but just also the fact that there is no clear ideology there. So it is actually a whole law enforcement issue. Not only in this case, obviously we've got the terrorism element, but there is also the public protection and safeguarding issues. And that is why we are highlighting the group to the public and yourselves, because for us, this is a whole society approach, and my plea is that if you're aware of anyone who is looking at extremist content, or you think is engaging with these types of groups, no matter if it is any type of extremist group, then please do contact us, and you can do that through the ACT campaign. And their website is www.gov.uk/ACT. If you go onto the website, there's a lot of really useful material, as well as if you see or you come across any kind of online extremist page, then you can also report that on there, and we will endeavour to contact the tech company to get that taken down. But you can also contact them just on the phone on 0800 789 321 24/7. You don't have to leave your name, it can be anonymous, but they can just kind of offer that advice. Cameron Finnigan was almost worst case scenario. We had to disrupt him due to public safety threat. But there's lots of examples where we can actually intervene a lot sooner, and that's what we want to do. So any concerns, please don't hesitate to contact us.